The Toronto Raptors trading OG Anunoby to the New York Knicks caught a lot of people by surprise. The team that's currently suing the Raptors with an owner who despises Raptors president Masai Ujiri for fleecing him multiple times. A man who actively hates MLSE president Larry Tanenbaum so much that he resigned from the NBA board over allegations that the NBA commissioner Adam Silver had conspired to protect him. The $10 million lawsuit, which was seen as an ultimate middle finger to Toronto, dragging the Raptors organization into a heap of controversy and negative press over allegations that the Raptors stole proprietary knowledge when hiring an assistant coach. When Masai Ujiri and head coach Darko Rajakovic addressed the lawsuit, their frustration on this matter was palpable, and their anger could be felt seething through the seams. So how is it that two teams that hate each other so much managed to broker this deal or even come to the table? And why is it that the Raptors gave OG to a division rival when most teams, even those that like each other, try to avoid sending players to the same conference? Just look at the Spurs. They've sent Kawhi Leonard, DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Jakob Poeltl, and DeMar DeRozan out the door. But they sent them all east. Well, duh, because OG's agent is Leon Rose's son. Case closed. OG will take less to be in New York. He loves New York. He's happy to be there. Blah, blah, blah. But if you're actually paying attention, it doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense, does it? Especially from a basketball perspective. First, a quick word from our sponsor. The Pendance Film Festival is happening February 22nd to 25th. It is a celebration of international films. It is a brilliant film festival in its 7th season. Prior to the COVID pandemic, it was the fastest growing film festival in the world. What is my affiliation with Pendance? What are they paying me to say this? Well, I am Pendance. I'm the festival director and founder of Pendance. It is my baby. And if you love great films, if you have a film lover in your life, this is a worthwhile event for you, happening in downtown Toronto at the Carlton Cinema. February 22nd to 25th. Make sure to check us out. Link is in the description below for tickets and passes. Tickets will go on sale soon. Passes are already on sale. Let's get to this. OG is very close to Raptors superstar Scottie Barnes. The two have been described almost as best friends on the team. Trading a player like OG when he's very much in his prime, even for a haul that includes Emmanuel Quickley and the contract of RJ Barrett, feels like a very out-of-character move. Unless the Raptors knew he was a flight risk. And the Knicks felt that they had assurances they could re-sign him. But what if they can't? Guess what? Agents can be fired easily. And if getting more touches and a bigger role on offense was OG's big goal this offseason, then the Knicks pale in comparison to the opportunity he could have had in Indiana next to Tyrese Halliburton, a city where he is very familiar and where he went to college, or even in Toronto if the Raptors traded Siakam to clear the way. The only reason NYC makes sense is if you really buy his loyalty to CAA and the Knicks roster build and his love for New York. And I don't. 14.1% usage so far as a Knick is his lowest since his rookie season. And playing heavy minutes in Tibbs lineups is a surefire recipe for the oft-injured OG Anunoby to run his body into the ground with little to show for it in terms of an offensive role. So with reports that the Knicks plan on training for a big star to pair with him and Brunson, it's a great indicator that he is never going to become a 20-point per game scorer in New York. So let's calculate this out. British-born Nigerian OG Anunoby, whom most assumed was the nearest and dearest player to Raptors president Masai Ujiri's heart other than Scottie Barnes. What if the plan is actually to bring him back? And no, not like Kyle Lowry on a one-day contract before he retires, but much sooner than that. The Raptors traded for Jakob Poeltl for a mess of picks and expirings. Do you remember the anxiety this offseason that he can go back to the Spurs next to Victor Wembanyama and how embarrassing that would be for the Raptors? Guess what? OG can do the same thing. The Raptors aren't a major free agent destination for most players, but they have a boatload of expiring contracts. And if they trade Pascal Siakam for expiring contracts and young assets to restock the coffers, not to mention future picks, as they're widely rumored to be willing to do, they will be one of the few teams this offseason that can make a very competitive offer to OG Anunoby. He already knows the city and the organization. 4 months in New York is going to do wonders for his brand anyway, and the ultimate heel turn in New York, from New York savior to New York backstabber, would make him the story of the summer. Masai Ujiri hates James Dolan just enough to make this real. So does Larry Tanenbaum, and allegedly, so does Darko Rajakovic. So while I'm not saying this is likely, it is certainly possible. OG left on great terms. The Raptors adore him. And going into this season, there was merely two gripes that he had: his role and money. With IQ and Scotty, the building blocks for the future in Toronto, both extremely unselfish, the Raptors will not only be able to offer him the money he wants, but the role he wants as well. They'll also be willing to bring him back to a coach he's come to trust and one who has poured hundreds of hours this season into making him a healthier and better player. If OG comes back, the trade, which is already looking like a steal for the Raptors, would enter evil genius territory. And I think I speak for a lot of Raptor fans when I say we'll be watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below what you would think of this outcome. And make sure to check us out after every single Raptors game. We are the most watched. Over the last month, we are the most watched Raptors post-game show. And I'd love to see thousands of people. We had 890 people in here last night. I'd love to see that number go up to 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. Let's do it.